All right, let's break down this co-main event in the middleweight division between Brendan Allen and Edmund Shahbazyan. And on all three judges' scorecards, two of them scored it 30 to 27, 129-28. Your winner by unanimous decision, Brendan All In Allen. And there's the dismayed look on the golden boy, Edmund Shahbazyan. But otherwise, he goes back to his corner with Eric McConico there with the ice bag. Brandon Allen, with his 2-year-old son in his arms, paying respect to his opponent who took this fight, didn't know what he was getting into, getting this far into the rankings, and he's not even ranked himself. But congratulations to Brandon Allen, continuing his win streak that he has now gotten to 3 fights at this point, and now he's also accumulated 14 wins in the middleweight division. Names like former middleweight champions Robert Whitaker, Anderson Silva, and Michael Bisping on the list. And now he's telling Paul Felder he wants to have the shot at the belt. He wants Sean Strickland since he was in the corner of Edmund Shahbazyan when he walked out with Extreme Couture. It was hilarious that he called him out when he has a torn AC joint in his shoulder. Now let's look at these stats real quickly. This is actually closer than I anticipated when you look at total strikes 91 to 90 and significance. Edmund had more. 90 of all of his total strikes were significant, and two of Brennan's were not. And he outstruck his head 83 to 61. Brandon outstruck clear as day, body and leg. 10 body to Edmund's 4, and then 18 to the leg to Edmund's just 3. And no one really had control time except towards the end of the third round when Brandon Allen finally got a takedown that he was attempting the first two couple rounds. So let's look at some highlights of this fight, shall we? All right, so we start the fight early, and just like I predicted, Brandon Allen is getting busy, getting on the leg kicks early so that he can build them up towards the end of the fight. Then we get a little bit of a minute in. These guys are starting to exchange, let it loose a little bit, but nope, here comes the leg kicks again, building them up, building them up. Then they just go jab for jab. When you see, it looks like in the first picture, Edmonds is connecting first, and then Brandon's is connecting second. And then they're going again towards the end of the first round. Brandon Allen is missing, and then here comes Edmond with a nice jab up the with his left jab. I mean, and then apparently that frustrates Brendan so much that he goes in for a takedown. And Edmond, throughout the first round and second, was doing very good job keeping Allen's takedown attempts at a neutral bay. And then here get started into the second round. They get into the little bit of clinch. He gets a nice little left check hook while he was giving him in the, Muay Thai clinch. And then he gets into another like over the top of the shoulder, or kind of under, but he really snuck it in there to try and get that punch through the guard of his opponent. And then more of this fight in the first beginning took place in this like dirty boxing clinching area. And again, they're just landing punches, a little bit of elbows and exchanges, and then another attempt for Brandon Allen for a takedown, and Edmund again stuffing the head, not getting his hips, not where they're supposed to be, and giving a good head on his shoulders, and then Brandon back to his feet, gets him with a jab, heads him with a slap too, and that. And again, more dirty boxing as this round continues. A little bit of an uppercut connecting, high kick. Okay, now we start into the third round, and now they were going a little bit more chaotic. And then he goes for a head kick to Brendan Allen, blocked by Edmund Shahbazyan. Uppercut lands under the shoulder. Elbow lands right after that. Nice combination. Then he just leaves from that elbow. It just destroys the left eye of Edmund Shahbazyan towards the 39 seconds left of the third round. Brendan Allen's face is kind of messed up, but not as bad as Edmund's. And then we get to the final 10 seconds, and Edmund is just in a vulnerable state where he is losing this fight compared to the opponent that he is leveling up against in the number 4 middleweight in the world. So now we get back to this, and this is where it frustrates me that Brennan Allen, after that performance, thinks that he deserves a title shot. Let's compare this to another fighter, shall we? Look at Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. He was 10-2. This fight took place 3 years ago. Edmund Shahbazyan, 12-3. 29 to 25, almost a 2-year age difference between Anthony Hernandez today and Brandon Allen. And look at this. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez freaking outstruck him 77-33, TKO'd him in the third round because as soon as the third round started, with 11 seconds, he goes in for the takedown, presses him against the fence, gets the takedown, postures up, and just smashes him until the referee says, I've seen enough, this fight is over, and there's your winner. So if you think Brendan Allen, because of that performance, you were getting a title shot, you have another thing coming, my friend.